Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Friday. I think it's August 5th. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you today about systems and services. And the reason that this is at the top of my mind this morning is I went to two places this morning for breakfast. I went to a local gas station to get gas, and I thought, hey, I'll just get some coffee. It's not Starbucks, but it's pretty good. And it's the Maverick gas station. And if you live in Utah, you know what Mavericks is. They have an amazing, amazing organization. And then I went to do some errands, and I ended up at Einstein's Bagels, and I got myself a little sandwich. Okay, so what I'd like to talk today about is systems and service, and I'm going to relate those two places and those two stories. First and foremost, let me discuss the difference between systems and services, who they're for, why they're built, etc. First of all, systems are based on logic of efficiency, okay? Second of all, service is based on proficiency, okay? Service leads to emotion, which gives you a sales opportunity. Systems, this is interesting. People get confused with systems. What happens is sometimes, a salesperson, a prospector, a closer, they try to rely on systems because it's an easy crutch to rely on. And a CRM, a funnel system, anything you can put together that tries to make your life easier. Here's the catch, and here's the problem. Systems are based on data and logic. It's not based on emotion, okay? Which means it's really not based on the person. It's based on what we think they're going to do, their actions. And so what data and logic does is it creates a conversation. So let me give you an example. So this morning I'm going in to get my coffee, right here. And on the coffee labels, they have branded various things like Bodacious and Mountain Blend, and there's like 5 different brands on the coffee. Now, let's look at this logically, okay? Let me just handle it logically for a second, then let me get into the emotions. First of all, I haven't had my coffee. You know the old saying, you have to have credit before you get credit? Well, you have to have coffee before you make logical decisions, right? So I'm sitting there reading these labels, and I can't figure out for the life of me which one's the lightest flavor. I don't like the dark. I've got my specific taste. And I'm sitting there staring like deer in headlights, and this gal on the other side was preparing some food, and I said, hey, which of these coffees is the light coffee? And she goes, oh, it's over here. It goes left to right. A gal jumps behind me, and she's like, oh, you just have to read the labels. And I turned around at her and I said, I don't want to read the labels. Just say, hey man, this is the light coffee. Give me my freaking light coffee. What was awesome is I heard the conversation that the two ladies were having after. She says, oh yeah, as now they're talking to each other, they said, well, we go left to right and we put it this way and this way. And she started talking about the systems. So they have a system, but who's it for? Is it for me? Because obviously it's not. I didn't know what coffee I wanted. I was frustrated at that point. If I had a choice, I would have walked out, but I didn't. I needed coffee, so I sat there for an extra few minutes. Most of us don't have that luxury of waiting. If they go to your website and you aren't giving them a reason or something simple to choose, they're going to go away. So finishing up on this story, what I overheard was this. The company puts a system together based on data, based on logic, based on if we go and put 5 different coffee containers together, what you need to do, Mr. Store Manager, is you need to put the lightest roast from left to right. You need to make sure that every 30 minutes the coffee's warm. That has nothing to do with people. Some guy was sitting behind a desk and goes, this is how we're going to train our stores to make sure that everything is the same, whether you're in Lehigh or Farmington, okay? So these are distinctly two things. Now let's get into the service and the emotion. Now, They did an awesome job. As a matter of fact, we started chuckling after. We had a great conversation, and I said goodbye to the ladies. Well, I ended up at Einstein's. Let me give you another example of a system and service that actually works coherently, cohesively, and invisibly, unless you have some issues like me where I can see these things. But it was seamless. Here's what happened. First of all, I walk up, and do you ever walk up where you're like, a guy or a girl is just behind you, but you're like speeding ahead so you can get in line before that person? I did that today, but thankfully within a few seconds I recognized that I was, just trying to be competitive, and I let her go first. Anyway, so I sat back and I waited my turn, and I got to the line and knew exactly what I wanted. I said, listen, I want a mushroom and Swiss, and I want it on an everything bagel. Now I looked over the guy's shoulder as he was doing the calculations and putting in all the system and my parfait for my lunch. And I noticed that in the basket, the first one that usually goes is the everything bagel. So I'm like, dude, I don't think there's any everything bagels. So I already had a backup. I've done this before. I'm a single guy. I go out to dinner every day. I'll have the garlic bagel. To the corner of my eye, I see this taller guy go to the back. And I'm like, I hope he's doing what I think he's doing. Sure enough, he comes back and he has a warm everything bagel just baked. And he looks at me. I wasn't even looking at him before, but he jumped into the conversation. He became part of the system actually, but provided service and said, hey, listen, we're not even gonna heat this up. This thing's already warm as it is. I'm like, bro, that's awesome. Made my day, because it's the most fresh bagel you can get. It's an awesome sandwich. They're being so helpful. I get to the end. She rings me up. I give her the card or whatnot. A few minutes later, I'm sitting there kind of just, I don't know, thinking about work. This gal walks up, hands me the bag, and says, I'm sorry they didn't put it in a big enough bag. And just smiles. And I'm like, this is amazing. I mean, am I at the Four Seasons, right? These guys know what it means to integrate systems. You know where all the bagels go, you know when they come out, you know the combinations, you know if they're going to have spread or not, or all that other stuff. But what they did is they put service first. So I'm going to end it with this. Here's my challenge for you. The next time you're thinking about putting a whole bunch of time into your data and your systems and your logic of what you think somebody is going to do, why don't you step back a bit and why don't you just start talking to people and let them tell you what they want? If when I walked into Mavericks, had I known that I was going to have that issue, it would have been like Home Depot. I would have been looking for the orange vest and saying, hey, which one is the light roast? I never would have went down that rabbit hole. Why? I'm there to buy. I'm not there to understand their system, okay? So obviously, even a company like that can improve their efficiencies. When you're out and about today, pay attention to the logic side and the service side of businesses. You will be astounded how many companies are failing because they rely too heavily on this goal to be as efficient as you possibly can be. Let's have robots build this, let's do that. Well, guess what? When that happens, airbags don't deploy, or when they do, they kill people. You can work on systems all you want, but if you're not concerned about the person first, you're not concerned how they feel and their emotions, you're never going to have a selling opportunity. You're going to have people that are going to walk away. And not only that, you might get some really crazy guy in a green shirt that says, this company is doing it right and this company is doing it better. I'm just so happy today this wasn't one of those like, these guys suck. And I would tell you, well, have a great day, have a great weekend. I hope this helps, and maybe you can integrate this into your business, and maybe share this with some of the people you know who have their own businesses. Thank you. Have a great day.